Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of December 14th, 2024. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. Significant losses for Ukraine throughout the different operational zones, north, west, southern, center, east, and Dnepr. Ukrainian forces have suffered substantial personnel losses, equipment destruction, and the repelling of multiple counterattacks. Notable equipment losses include tanks, armored personnel carriers, various artillery units including howitzers, and electronic warfare stations.
Welcome back to Frontline Updates, where we bring you the latest insights from the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer deeply involved in the monitoring of operations on the ground. Colonel, thank you for joining us. Could you start by summarizing the progress of the special military operation as of December 14th, 2024?
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to share the latest updates from the operation.
Let's start with the Kharkiv region. What's the latest there?
In the Kharkiv direction, units of the North Group of Forces inflicted significant defeats on two territorial defense brigades and a border detachment of the Ukrainian Border Service near Alexandrovka and Volchansk. The enemy suffered the loss of 60 servicemen, 2 armored personnel carriers, 3 vehicles, and 2 122mm D-30 howitzers.
That's a considerable impact. What about the West Group of Forces? Have they made progress?
Yes, they've improved their tactical positions. We targeted 3 mechanized, airborne, and ranger brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in Lozovaya and Zagrozovo in the Kharkiv region, Nadia in the Luhansk People's Republic, and the Serebryansky Forestry. Our forces repelled 2 counterattacks. The enemy lost 540 troops, several armored personnel carriers, and multiple artillery systems, including 155mm howitzers from NATO countries.
It sounds like the West Group is maintaining a stronghold. What's happening in the southern region?
Units of the Southern Group continued advancing, defeating 2 mechanized, 1 motorized infantry, 1 Marine brigade, and a territorial defense brigade near Kurakovo and Novoyelazavetovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. 2 enemy counterattacks were repelled, resulting in 225 Ukrainian casualties and the destruction of combat vehicles and artillery.
What about the center group of forces? Any strategic updates there?
The center group made significant strides, improving their position and targeting formations in Dzerzhinsk, Dmitrov, Shevchenko, and other areas in the Donetsk People's Republic. We repelled 4 counterattacks and inflicted losses of up to 365 servicemen, armored combat vehicles, and artillery systems.
Impressive advances across the regions. How is the East Group performing?
The East Group continues its advance into enemy defenses, targeting 2 mechanized brigades and a territorial defense brigade near Vermevka and Suiyuli in the Donetsk People's Republic. The group repelled a counterattack, causing 150 Ukrainian casualties and destroying multiple vehicles, including a Polish-made Krab self-propelled artillery unit.
Moving south to the Dnepr region, what's the latest there?
The Dnepr Group targeted 2 territorial defense brigades near Antonovka in the Kherson region and Malotagmachka in Zaporizhia. Ukrainian forces suffered 35 casualties, 3 vehicles destroyed, and losses in artillery.
It's clear the operational scope is vast. Were there any notable strikes on infrastructure or other key assets?
Yes, our operational tactical aviation and artillery targeted 3 unmanned aerial vehicle depots and enemy concentrations in 153 districts. Air defense systems intercepted 6 HIMARS rockets and 60 aircraft-type UAVs.
Let's zoom in on the Kherson region. How does the latest operational activity impact the broader conflict in that area?
The situation in the Kherson region continues to be strategically significant. The Dnepr Group of Forces has been effective in targeting and degrading the manpower and equipment of 2 territorial defense brigades near Antonovka and Malotagmachka. This has broader implications for the conflict, as Kherson serves as a key logistical hub for Ukrainian forces operating along the southern front.
Could you elaborate on why Kherson is so critical? And what challenges remain in securing this area?
Absolutely. Kherson's location along the Dnipro River makes it pivotal for controlling supply lines, troop movements, and access to key operational zones in both Zaporizhia and Crimea. By consistently applying pressure and neutralizing Ukrainian capabilities in this region, we're disrupting their ability to coordinate offensives and reinforcing our position on the southern axis. One of the primary challenges is the Ukrainian forces' continued reliance on Western-supplied equipment and artillery systems, which they deploy aggressively in this region. However, our precision strikes on their infrastructure, such as UAV depots and ammunition storage, along with our interception of HIMARS rockets, are mitigating these challenges.
Finally, let's turn to the Kursk region. What's the latest update?
The Kursk region remains a critical front in our operations. Over the last 24 hours, the armed forces of the Russian Federation, particularly units of the North Group, have inflicted significant losses on Ukrainian formations. These include 3 mechanized, 2 tank, 2 airborne assault brigades, and a marine brigade. Offensive operations have led to the liberation of several settlements, including Ruskoye Porknoy and Sverdlikovo.
What specific losses have Ukrainian forces incurred in this region?
The Ukrainian armed forces have suffered considerable setbacks. Over 200 servicemen were neutralized in the past day. Additionally, our forces destroyed a tank, a U.S.-made Bradley infantry fighting vehicle, an armored combat vehicle, 7 vehicles, 2 artillery pieces, a mortar, and an electronic warfare station. There were also 3 Ukrainian servicemen who surrendered during these operations.
How are Russian forces maintaining momentum in Kursk?
Momentum is being sustained through a combination of decisive offensive actions and the effective use of air and artillery strikes. Operational tactical and army aviation, alongside artillery fire, have struck enemy manpower and equipment in key settlements, including Gagolevka, Krebelkoy, and Belovadi. These strikes have disrupted Ukrainian supply lines and reduced their combat effectiveness.
Can you provide insight into the overall impact of these operations on the Ukrainian defense in Kursk? And does this progress have wider implications for the conflict?
The Ukrainian defense in the Kursk region is increasingly fragmented. By neutralizing their forces and capturing strategically vital settlements, we're undermining their capacity to coordinate counterattacks or sustain prolonged engagements. The steady erosion of their manpower and equipment places them at a significant operational disadvantage. Success in Kursk weakens Ukraine's northern defense line and opens up opportunities for further operations into adjacent regions. It also diverts their resources from other critical fronts, such as Kharkiv and Donetsk, stretching their already strained capabilities.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for having me. Israel is still attacking homes and schools across the Gaza Strip, killing and injuring several people just one day after dozens were massacred in a strike on Nuseirat camp. Dawn raids on Saturday killed 4 members of the Saad Allah family in their home in Jabalia, 2 people in a school northeast of Gaza City, and 1 person sheltering in a tent south of Khan Yunis. Fighting has erupted in the Jenin refugee camp between Palestinian security forces and the Jenin brigades, leaving a commander from the occupied West Bank armed group dead and several other people injured. The IDF planned and approved. The fighting at dawn came 5 days after Palestinian Authority forces surrounded the camp and is, according to PA spokesperson Brigadier General Anwar Rajab, the penultimate stage of Operation Protect Israel.